All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Up and In Show. I'm not on the purple couch, but I do have two lovely guests with me on the purple couch, Kristen Nuss and Taryn Kloth.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. I know you guys are so busy. Your guys' life is crazy right now, so I'm excited to dive in, kind of like fill our listeners in. I've had some really cool athlete guests on, but what you guys are doing right now literally has been blowing my mind, and it's just been really cool. And you guys have Baton Rouge roots, so excited to dive in with you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Happy to be on this
Nice
purple couch.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys want to be here, so
So if you're in Perkins Row, come take a picture on the couch. What did you say? It was a Friends couch, like from the movie Friends? I like that.
Yeah.
And there's got to get like 4 people on the couch now all the time and just jam in there. Maybe I should just sat in the middle for the podcast. Just pass the mic back and forth. Be like, so here.
Perfect.
But yeah, we'll dive into it because I know you guys are busy and you guys probably have practices and interviews and all that stuff today, right?
Yeah.
no practice. We have an off day
Nice.
Yeah, today is our off day.
Wow.
But we do
because
have,
we can barely walk. We're
Yeah.
a little sore.
Are you guys, you have been training a little bit lately? Because you guys didn't play in that world tour, right? Or the Italy thing or whatever?
Yeah.
World champs, yeah.
yeah, we sadly did not get in. We missed it by, if it would have been like a week or two later, we would have gotten in
Yeah.
because of points.
Yeah.
But because of everything.
We were off by 21 points.
21? And that's crazy because isn't that like literally one game or something like that, right? Like a match or something.
Yeah,
It
like
could be
a
like
win or a
win,
loss.
yeah, win or a loss in a tournament or something. That's pretty crazy. So how does that work? Like where do you guys get all your points from? Because I know FIVB, right, and AVP are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So kind of give our listeners the difference to that. Whoever wants to explain the difference,
it.
because I know they're two different tours.
You got
So
it.
when you play internationally, that's all FIVB. Well, for the most part, because the United States hasn't really hosted an FIVB, which is wild because I was talking to so many of the players and they're like, we want to come to the United States so bad and play, but you guys don't host anything. We're like, we're trying.
Why is that though? We just haven't done it.
Great question,
Yeah,
because
okay.
we have
I feel like it's
so
I
many.
feel like it's a money, for
Is it?
sure, a
Yeah,
money
yeah.
thing. I think it costs
Everything's always money.
Yeah. And then finding a promoter, and they just have kind of all of that set up internationally.
Gotcha.
So the way you get international points, FIVB points, is going to 3 different tournaments. So there's the bottom tier, which is the futures, and then challenge events, and then the elite 16s, and then you have world champs, and that's going on.
Gotcha.
Right now.
Okay.
So as you move up in levels, the points that you can earn
Right.
grow up.
And if I'm understanding this right, like that's kind of like the world champs is like where you guys want to be on the FIVB, right? Like you kind of play for that tournament. And if I'm understanding it correct, it's kind of like in your guys' world bigger than the Olympics, right? Like, or more important.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's very,
The top 2.
It's
for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Olympics just has a lot of like other stuff too that makes it fun, other athletes and all that stuff, and it's like national. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm sorry you guys didn't make this one, but hopefully next year. And is it every year that you guys play, or that they do
I
it?
think it is every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the sad
All right,
thing
so
is
next
we
year you
don't
guys will be there.
fully know, but we think it's every year.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, whatever. You'll be at the next one. That'll be the plan, right?
And that one, if you win, you qualify for the Olympics automatically.
If you win the tournament. Oh, nice. So it doesn't
So
matter
I'd
about.
be okay missing this one and then going
Yeah.
and winning that
Yeah,
one if it
exactly.
happened. That would work out well.
Explain to me the Olympic points, because I have no that shit confuses the hell out of me.
No, you're
Are you
better
guys
at
new to it
this.
still too, because like I mean you guys are just starting,
Oh,
so that's why I wanted to like dive into this. Like this is like so new to you guys, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of research on it because
Okay.
I hate not knowing things.
Yeah.
But we show up to every single tournament and we find out something new. Like we had no idea. We had 1-2 games and we're like, oh my gosh, we could still get kicked out of the tournament. We had no idea. we
Like
were
if you lost
"Oh."
the next one, yeah.
So for the Olympic qualification, it starts January of next year.
Okay.
And then it goes all the way to June of 2024.
Okay.
And then the Paris Olympics are obviously later that year.
Yep.
So you have to play in at least 12 tournaments. And if you're the top 2 teams in the country,
Okay.
then you get to go. If you're the
Gotcha.
3rd team, but you're still top 10, you still don't get to go.
So US, like that shit's crazy competitive.
Yeah.
Damn. And no matter what, you can only get 2 bids like per country.
That's why we didn't get into Worlds, because for Worlds, they only let 4 American teams in.
Okay.
And we were the 5th
Fifth
team
one, yeah.
based on points. So we would have, if it didn't matter how many teams or whatever from each country got in, we would have been in.
Oh my God. So literally overall points, you were in the top however many people are there. That sucks.
But I mean, I get it because you want to have these other countries.
That's so true. And then give them,
Yeah, it makes the game bigger and it's better for the game, but it sucks for the individuals that are like, well, we did our job, you know, like we're just standing here and now.
Because if you didn't have that, it'd probably be
all
like
Brazil.
20 Brazil,
Yeah, exactly.
20 Brazil teams and 20 American
American
teams.
teams, yeah. Exactly. So which would be pretty wild, but no, so I get it. But that doesn't change that your guys' experience is different. So, and you guys get points by winning in the tournaments, right? And that's what we're talking about. Even games just start accumulating, and then you have to have a certain amount, or it's the 16 team, top 16, whatever. But as long as it's for Olympics.
Oh, for the Olympics, how many teams get to go? I think it's 48.
Yeah.
48 teams get to go.
All right.
So, but it's like really hard because you only get 2 from each country. So for Brazil and us, I think we could have had like 5 or 6 teams in each, like pending our like placement and the quotas and everything. So it kind of just really throws everything off. So the Olympics is even worse when there's only 2. All right, I'll stop talking.
No. I need to be listening. That's why I'm asking you guys questions. I'm so taken back that technically there could be, if like in the top 10 in the world could be all Brazil and American teams, but then some of those people are not going to the Olympics because that's so crazy just to think that, like, contextually.
Yeah. I feel like that makes it so much more like cutthroat within the 2 countries, and it's like you're just battling against your own country. Yeah. Like it's so crazy. It's
like you guys are teammates. We're all wearing the same jerseys, but at the same time, like, don't take my spot. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that really is. It's like, does that like create weird friendships, I guess? Like, cause you're like, we're friends, but also I might see you on the court in like a couple matches, like if everything lines up right.
It's definitely a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
For sure.
God, that's gotta be so weird. That's so different.
It's only 2 people and we're girls. So just like combining all of that together is like, it's a little weird.
Yeah. And it's like sometimes when it's like, are you really being nice to me? Like, cause you're like friends, or is there like a...
No, I feel you. That's it. That's tough.
Yeah.
But AVP is different, right? So, and some teams don't, like, some people have a world tour partner, right? And then an AVP partner. So you guys are both, right?
Yeah.
Love it. And you guys have been killing the AVP.
Yeah.
That's been pretty crazy.
It's nice because I feel like last year was just AVP, but now obviously we're playing all these international tournaments, and it's kind of nice to like come back home and it's like, the AVP. Like, it's like we're familiar with this.
Yes. Yeah. We don't have to search and do Google Translate and take pictures and translate shit.
Yeah, it's like, and the flight's only like max like 3 hours. You're like, this is fantastic.
Yes. Dude, well, you're the one blog I think I read of, who writes them? I don't know who read. You guys read?
We
you guys
alternate.
back? Okay, I read one of yours, and I was just like, I was laughing so hard because I can relate. I played in Korea too, so just like I remember if my translator's not there, we're just like taking pictures of things, trying to like find Wi-Fi somewhere to translate it, and be like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna eat this fish that I don't even know what it is, but we're just gonna go with it. So
it's been an experience. It is just, it's so wild, and we do try to like write those blogs so like people, because our families, we mainly started doing it because our families are like asking us so many questions, and we're like,
just read the blog.
Just read the blog.
Yeah. That's why I started a podcast.
So it gives everyone a way to kind of like relate to like what is actually happening. And we've gotten like a ton of great feedback of like, these are awesome. Like, please keep doing it.
So. There's
also times where you're just like wandering around and you're like, what are we doing?
What are we actually? Yes.
We don't know what we're eating. We could get sick. We don't know what's going on. And we're like, who let us do this?
Yeah. Like, how? I always think about this stuff. I mean, I've been friends with people on the tour. I'm just like, wait, you're just going to this country. You don't have Wi-Fi, and like your family doesn't know where you're at. Like anything, you could just be gone. I'm like, and you guys are, it just becomes normal, I guess, right? Like it's just, that's crazy. But when I was playing ball, it was the same thing. We would just go explore in cities and like do whatever. And it was just, I guess you just get used to it. Yeah. What's the craziest, give me the craziest or funniest story that you guys have had on the road?
Oh gosh.
You could each tell one.
Instantly went to, when we were in Turkey, I had been messaging with a like taxi driver who was supposed to pick us up, and like in the little like tiny like circle you could see his picture, sort of, and we like we walk out of the airport and there's this guy just holding like a sign with Taryn's name on it, and it was just Taryn's name. I was the one who was like communicating with the guy, and I'm like, well, Taryn, he has your name. I guess we go with him. But I was like, Taryn, that doesn't look like the guy in the picture. Oh my God. And we're just like, got all our luggage, like walking into his van.
But as we have our bags,
walking into his van,
we're looking back and forth at each other. We're like, are we gonna die? Is this okay? But we are giving eyes because he just kept turning around, and we're like, oh no.
And then so like before we actually like got into the van, I was like, do you know like so and so? He was like, yes, that's my friend. And like that's the only information we got, and we were like,
I guess that's good enough for us.
Yeah. Like we just have to get in the car. And so there's like a picture of us like in the back, like, oh gosh, are we like, yeah, like we don't know where this guy's taking us. It was all good. He ended up taking us to our hotel, but it was just like wow, like that could have gone not well.
100%. That's hilarious.
And there's probably numerous stories like that of.
I mean, just the way you started it, you were like, I was messaging this taxi ride. I was just like, all right, there we go.
And the entire time messaging him, it's like putting it into Google Translate.
Yeah, exactly. I would be doing that. I'd be in Korea and I'd be like typing. I had 2 phones in Korea. I had my iPhone and then they gave us a phone when we got there. And that's what I used for my Wi-Fi hotspot all the time. So I'd turn on the Wi-Fi hotspot, go to Google Translate, put my thing in, show it to the cab driver. Like, and he'd be reading it. He'd be like, okay, yeah. And like, all right, that's where I guess he's trusting that he knows where we're going, you know, and we're just doing it. So
was there like anyone in Korea that would speak English or like?
In my town, no. So I lived like southwest in this farm town. In Seoul, everything was really Americanized. So when you walk around the city, almost everybody spoke English. You go to front desk restaurants, they spoke English and like good English too. But in my city, no. Like, and that's where I was like, there's no English translations. There's nothing it's literally all just Korean. Yeah, you're just like, all right, this is it.
Yes, we are actually in Korea.
We're really here. And then my translator had never been a translator before. Awesome dude. We wound up. I'm still friends with him, but this dude was like, just like, all right, yeah, I'll just drop you guys off at the apartment. It would be like 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm like, dude, we have to go eat. We have to like go get groceries. We got to drive places. This is your job. Like, you need to make sure we do this. You're getting paid. And he would just be like, oh, are you going to be all right? No, I'm not. I need you here, actually. So you remember Bo Didier, right?
Yeah.
He came out there with me, one of my friends. And so him and I just like went on adventures all the time. And one day he went to Tokyo by himself, like just like took a ferry and just went and came back because visas and all that stuff and everything. So it was funny. But yeah, that was our,
Oh my God.
I've been down that road. That's why like I was belly laughing on some of the things that you're talking about. I'm just like, I've been there. It's crazy. But for a young girl girls to do that in foreign countries, that blows my mind. I'm like, tip my cap to you guys.
Yeah. Like, we don't know if this could be like a sketchy part of town. We're like,
guess
I have no idea. Yeah.
No idea. We're just going. And it's so funny how you said it too. Like, you're like, I guess that's good enough for, like, you guys make the eye contact. You're like, right, that's good enough. Cool. Like, we're in it together, right? Like, we're going down this road together. I remember having that same look with Bo, just being like, all right, we're in, right? Cool. We're just going. Yeah. So funny. That's great. Man. But talk to me a little bit. So you guys were at LSU, right? You transferred. You spent all your time at LSU, 4 or 5 years with COVID and all that stuff, right? But you transferred here. You were an indoor volleyball player at first. So talk to me a little bit about the transition from indoor to beach.
Yeah, I was at Creighton in Omaha, Nebraska. From South Dakota, never been around beach volleyball. Really. Yeah. I mean, it was like a joke, beach volleyball. And everybody would just kind of mess around at the lake. But transitioning, Kristen will tell you, I was angry, I think, every day leaving practice.
Really?
It was so terrible. Yeah. I was like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, I just fall in the sand or, like, get hit by a ball, and I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So the transition process.
It just kind of showed that indoor and beach are very different. And I feel like a lot of times indoor people will come over and they're like, I got this. Like, I played indoor. Like, at a very prestigious, like, indoor school. So you're like, I'm going to be able to do this. And it's just, like, completely different games. And it's just, like, you can see in every single indoor transfer that, like, came over, they just get whacked in that, like, first week, 2 weeks. And you're like, it's going to be all right. You're going to learn, but you do have to like learn. You have to like adapt. You have to change. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I got whacked.
Sometimes you got to get hit in the mouth a little bit, you know, and learn and get knocked down. So
yeah,
it's good.
But I think it was such a challenge that I wanted to keep going with beach volleyball, and I wanted to see how far I could take that.
Nice.
Yeah. And to hype her up, I mean, it's wild that she's only been playing this sport for not even, has it been 3?
I was going to say 2 or 3 years.
3.5.
Yeah, something like that.
But like actually like
under 5, let's say. I mean, like that.
Yeah, it's just it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
So, and it's wild as to like where she is now, and it's just like, holy heck, what are you going to be in like 5 years, 10 years? Oh my gosh.
I love it. And you guys play for a long time. What'd you say?
She said, where am I going to be in 10 years? I'm going to be like 30, but you can still play.
For a long time. I know. Like, it's what is the average age for women that, I mean, in your prime is like 30, right? Like 30, 32.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. April is 39.
Yeah.
She has 3 medals. She's kind of good.
Yeah, that's all right.
No,
yeah.
39.
She's decorated. She just won gold, right? With and who's
Alex
her Alex? Yeah. Are they still together? Yeah, she's tall. She's tall.
Alex had shoulder surgery, so she's out for the season.
Okay.
And then April has played some internationally, but has not played on the AVP yet.
Gotcha. Who's she gonna play with on AVP?
Great question.
Yeah. It was supposed to be Emily Day, but then I think April may have gotten injured or something happened.
Yeah.
So we don't even really know.
How tough is it for you? You had a great partner with Claire, right, at LSU. You guys did some pretty special things. How hard was it to transition? And then, how did you guys develop this relationship, like through this stuff? I feel like it's got to be really special for you to like manage that.
Yeah. I think it kind of like started because, we were like friends before we like started playing together, because obviously I was playing with Claire.
Yep.
And I think during COVID is when it's kind of all happened, because she went back to good old South Dakota.
Okay, you make fun of it. Great.
Have you gone yet?
Yes.
I have.
Wow.
It is nice. It's nice.
I would love to go. I think it would be really cool to go there.
Yeah,
So,
but you can only go. There's like 2 months that
Okay,
you can
gotta
go.
during the summer or the fall.
yeah. That's when I would go probably.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. But so she went up home, and it was like during the cold time, right? So it was like she couldn't do anything. Right. And then like I was just at my house, just like sitting there doing nothing, because COVID was happening. And she like called me up, and she was like, I'm so sick of like the cold and just sitting here. Like, can I come back down and can we just like train? I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not going to say no to that.
Yeah.
So we just started training a ton, and there was like tournaments that would pop up, and we were like, let's just go play. Nice. And started playing and just kept playing. And it was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, we're having like a blast on the court. Like we were literally just having so much fun.
Yeah.
And then that's when LSU season came around, and they decided to keep us together, and then just kind of kept rolling.
TKN Tandem was born.
Yeah, and making this and everything was just wild, because there was so many just like.
We both bought whiteboards.
I love it.
When we were trying to like figure out basically everything.
Yeah.
We would both have like lists on one side of the whiteboard, and then like drawings of what we were trying to do next, or like come up with that.
Like logos and like designs and all that. Yeah.
Had no idea making a business, like what actually went into doing that.
Yeah.
And it was just like we were just learning, just how like internationally we're just like learning on the fly.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. We just it was like to-do list, and then it was like it was just.
Did you guys start that after LSU, or was it during LSU, like all those?
When everybody was starting to do interviews for their jobs, like their big girl jobs, we were sketching on whiteboards.
Yeah.
Because we knew right after season was when AVP was going to happen, so it was like you kind of needed to have your stuff together in order to like go forward, and we wanted to make like a big like splash. Because a big thing, I want to like, no one has ever really done this. Like, come out of college, stayed with the person. Yeah. Normally, people will like grab someone with experience, and God knows we had tons of people tell us to do that.
Yep.
So many.
So for me, it was just like, we want to like rewrite this script. Like, no one in beach volleyball has like done this. Like, we want to change this. Like, and hopefully for people below us, like, have the opportunities and better opportunities than what we had, and we'll be able to do this. But that was like a big thing for us, and it was it's all just wild, honestly, still what is all happening. But.
Well, it sounds like it's coming from the right place, and honestly, like, I've had a couple different businesses. I've had successful ones, unsuccessful ones, and this is going to sound corny, but like when the purpose is driven like that, like you guys are going to succeed, right? And it's pretty cool that you've already had success on the courts, and had that barometer for success. But going forward, you guys are going to do like this kind of stuff that you're talking about. And that's what it's about, right? It's about setting, an example and doing things, and then leaving it for a better, when your guys are done, and giving people a better opportunity. So I love it. I'm in. That's why I think like I love beach volleyball, but your guys' story to me is I've been trying to get an interview with you guys, or at least try to work with you guys. We're doing some really cool stuff with our media team here. But your guys' story to me is what's so powerful. And I didn't even know that that's kind of like what's behind all this stuff too. So that's even more fun. So
did you figure out what the TKN was right away?
No, I don't. I mean, Taryn, like Kloth, Nuss, like
Taryn Kloth, Kristen Nuss. Like
Kloth.
We shared.
Kloth. Did you? I'm so heartbroken. I'm so hard. I called myself out though.
Really,
I called myself out.
It goes out.
You're just like so used to it.
Yeah. But so many people are like, "What's TKN?"
Yeah.
And we thought about it for so long, and only some people know what it means, but then once they figure it out, it's like, wow, you guys did actually put a little bit of thought into this.
So it was like we share an initial, so it was like we have to do something with it. So yeah, it's Taryn Kloth, Kristen Nuss.
So we just can't change our names.
Yeah, I just got to hyphen it. If you guys get married or something, it'll just be like, we're still keeping that one. Yeah, that's awesome. And Tandem, right? Like that's pretty cool. Can you guys share that a little bit? Like talk about like how you guys got Tandem in there too, and like the definition of Tandem.
Definition of Tandem is one behind the other, working in unison to achieve a goal. Yeah. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, Kristen, I think this has to be added.
I love it.
And it's hilarious because we showed our moms.
Yeah.
We're like our guinea pigs of like, what do you think about this? And both of our moms hated it. They're like,
why?
No.
We literally, I think both like got off the phone with our moms and they were like, yeah, they don't like it. And we like,
stupid idea.
We like looked at each other and we were like, we don't care.
That's when you know it's good.
Yeah,
that's
like we really liked it. So we were like, this is our business. Like we're just gonna roll with it. But yeah, the whole tandem really does work because I don't know, for people who don't know beach volleyball, she's a blocker and I'm a defender. So she's usually in front of me. I'm usually behind her. So there's a lot of moving pieces that kind of work with tandem.
Well, I know that definition because when I was playing basketball in high school, if we played a team that had two really good players, we'd play it was called tandem defense. And so we would just like lock on these two guys, the other three guys would play a zone, and it was just like a tandem defense offense type thing. So
it's all, if you like watch some of the beach volleyball games, it is kind of funny because the announcer sometimes will refer to like pairs as like tandem. And you're like, huh, like you're just like, you're just like hear the word more now than before.
So when you guys went to Atlanta, was that your guys' first tournament? When you guys won?
The first big AVP tournament.
And you guys won that one, right?
Yeah.
How does AVP work? Because there's like futures, like, right, and all these different things. But that was a gold event. And or is that new this year with the futures and stuff?
Yeah, the tier system is new this year. I mean, they had it, but it wasn't as like set.
Gotcha.
So yeah, when we were playing last year, they did have like AVP Next.
Right.
But they were just AVP Next, and we would play in those. But yeah, Atlanta was like Gold Series
big
top,
stage.
like all the Olympians were going to be there. So yeah, we had to play in the qualifier. Like so qualifier is like on Thursday. So we played all Thursday. Then we got in, played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it was kind of nice because we literally didn't have like any pressure going.
I wanted to win one game in the qualifier. I was just like, let's win one game.
Yeah.
You just kept saying that every game. Like, let's win one more. Yeah, we'll just win one more.
Like, it's so nice to just be the underdog and just like go out and you can play so free because it's like all the pressure is on you because you just came back from Paris. Like, you're supposed to beat us. And yeah, it was a cool experience. I'd always like dreamed of winning an AVP. So like, when that moment happened, it was just like, what is happening? Like, this is wild.
I don't think I slept for 2 days.
Really?
After. I was just like,
we didn't.
What happened?
And Drew was your coach too, right? So did he coach you guys at LSU too? And then he doesn't coach anymore at LSU, right?
Correct. He was the volunteer coach at LSU, and now he works with us, which we're blessed.
He's brilliant.
I really like Drew. Yeah, I've known Drew for a long time, and I knew Drew, before I even started following LSU beach volleyball. He was just always at the weight room, and we'd cross paths. So his
Drew
energy
in the weight room?
What? Shocking.
He used to work out with Brock, right? That was the first coach. They would go, and I didn't know beach volleyball was becoming a sport. So I'm like, who are these guys in the weight room? They're so skinny, right? And I'm just like tall and skinny. I'm like, who are they all the time in here? And then somebody's like, oh, that's the beach volleyball staff. And I'm like, we have beach volleyball? Like, I didn't even know that. So yeah, I've seen Drew a long time. I remember seeing him at Atlanta and congratulating him. It was that was really cool to see. Yeah, I'm happy you guys picked him.
Yeah, I think he started crying, if
Did
I'm not mistaken.
He wears the big glasses so you couldn't even see. It was good, yeah.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, after we won, it's like everything happened, and there's like camera right here, and Taryn is like, he's crying.
Didn't mean to call him out, but it was
you did.
It was great.
You did.
I did.
That's all right.
100% did. Sorry, Drew.
Yeah, I love it. But I did want to talk about it. It's interesting that you talked about being the underdog, right? So you guys were the underdog in that tournament, and you didn't but you guys have won a couple after that, so it's changed the mindset, right? You win that first one, now there's some eyes on you, and maybe people do have some expectation. Was that a different, like, style for you guys going into tournaments, kind of with a target on your back a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, like, mentally. It's just different knowing now that it's kind of reversed. Like, now it's like, no, you're supposed to win this game.
Yeah.
But I think all that stuff kind of goes away as soon as you step on the court, and I think that's, like, for me, that's where I'm at. It's like, oh, I have all these thoughts, but I just want to get to the game because I know it's just all going to go away.
Yes.
And so that's kind of cool. Just like literally just need to get to the court. But for sure, it's like before the game, it's definitely a different just kind of mindset of no, like it doesn't matter. Like still go play free, like play our game and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love when I finish a game and I can't remember a single point because I like completely blacked out and I was just playing in the moment.
Yes.
And those are my favorite games.
Yeah, when you're just in flow and you don't need to. Yeah, you're just moving. You know everything, and it's to me like what I love about beach volleyball is I've watched you guys play a lot. You can just see it and feel it when it's like, oh, they're in like. And you just feel the momentum change, and you guys are in sync, and it's like you're diving and doing all these things, getting balls up that you're just like, what the hell? How did she know the ball's gonna be, so like you can see it as a fan, and that's the fun part is watching that energy kind of shift for you guys. I love that. You said you black out sometimes. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's sometimes not fun though, because after the game, I'm like, do you remember like this point?
I'm like,
she's like,
no.
No.
I'm like, well, you were really good. You did great.
Yeah, it's literally.
Well, I dug the coolest ball of my life, and you didn't see it.
I'm like trying to like hype her up. I'm like, dude, that block on this play, and she's like. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, we'll go watch film. Oh, that's so great. Man, I really enjoyed watching you guys. What's next? How do you guys? What's the training schedule like? You guys are traveling. How do you guys manage that stuff going from world? You guys won in Turkey, right? You guys won that one there. Then you come back here, and what's next? Like, how do you guys like that adrenaline and all that? Like, and then you come here and you just start training. What's the move?
The last 10 weeks. We did not know we were going to get into a tournament earlier than 2 weeks before the tournament. So booking a flight, and then it takes about like 2 or 3 days to get there, and then you want to have a recovery day. So basically our lives have been insane. And then we found out about the last tournament. We were in Latvia. We found out
the Saturday.
We
were playing AVP New Orleans. And we found out we were Saturday during the day. We were about to play our quarterfinal match Saturday night. And we literally found out Saturday during the day because one of the other players had like messaged me about like practicing, and I was like, "We're not in the tournament." And she was like, "No, you got in," because we were like 10th. You
didn't even know.
Yeah, we had no idea. We were 10th on the reserve list when we kept checking, and then all of a sudden like people were dropping, and we literally like we would not have known if this girl would not have messaged me on Instagram asking to like practice her or something. But yeah,
that's
it is wild. But now we're like, so we. Actually, last week we were able to have like a week off because our schedule kind of settled down, and now we're like, we have 2 free weekends.
What are we like,
you're just gonna be lost.
We're like, oh my god, we get to be
normal people.
Yeah. But then we'll be going to Stade, Switzerland at the beginning of July. Yeah. It's kind of like a bucket list tournament for me because that's a pretty high up tournament in the beach world. It's been around for many years.
It's the longest lasting one, right?
Yeah.
Is it really? That's pretty cool in Switzerland.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you just Google Switzerland or Stade, the pictures are just unreal. No, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely beautiful. I've never been there, but yeah, that's I'm jealous. That's awesome. That's beginning of July, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that'll be our next.
July we'll be there. Yeah, we leave the 2nd.
That's awesome. That's where you're spending 4th of July.
Yep.
You're bad.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, your job isn't the worst. Yeah. I mean, on those moments, it's like that's when you're like, oh, okay, this job's all right. We can have some moments.
There are so many days where we wake up and we look around and we're like, we're in Turkey or we're in Brazil.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yep. That's pretty cool. You guys have that perspective sometimes too. Like you enjoy that and
every single day.
Like, sometimes like mid game we'll come like sit on the bench at a timeout and we're just like, we're in Latvia right now.
I love it. Yes.
It's just so like, and it honestly like sometimes it just like relieves the like pressure of the moment. And you're just like, yeah, let's just sit back and we're going to look out to the mountains, like the Baltic Sea. Like,
It literally puts new neurochemistry in your brain. Like you're going from a mode of like flight or fight on the court, adrenaline, all that shit. And you just sit back and you have gratitude. It just floods you with all these different things in your brain. So good for you guys. Like I'm literally like, that's amazing. That's so enlightened of you guys just to have that. Yeah.
And the ocean and the sky. Yeah. And it's usually nice weather. And how can you not just be happy when you're on a beach?
If you're not, like, I want to be like, there's something wrong with you in your core. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're miserable playing that sport, living that life, like, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys get rolling. I know you guys got some stuff going on, but where can everybody find, support you guys, buy the t-shirts, that kind of stuff? I have a lot of people locally that listen to this stuff, so I'm sure they would love to get on board.
Yeah, so they can head to our website. It's tknvball.com, and it literally has our schedule. It has our link to our gear.
Has our blog.
Yes,
Yeah, it has our blog.
Right,
if you want to do some reading, get a cup of coffee.
And they're long too. The one that I read, I was like, it was like 8 minutes. I'm like, or like 10 minutes. I'm like, damn, this is a long ass blog. I was locked in though.
It's crazy because even like they're so long, but it's like there's so much more like we can put into it. It's like, at what point do you like stop?
Do you just brain dump it on the plane afterwards, or do you like write as you go?
I write like we'll both like kind of write little notes just so like we don't forget, and then on our nice little 8-hour plane ride coming home, we'll just type away.
I know, and it's cool right now, but this is where like I think people lose sight of these things. That's why I do a podcast too. That stuff's gonna live forever. You know what I'm saying? Like 200 years from now, your great grandkids will be able to find that on the internet or something, you know, and like that's cool.
That's why she's like, I want to make it so detailed so I can go back and read it and be like, I was there and now I get to relive it.
Yeah, and just like things we could like 10 years from now be like, Taryn, you remember like,
do you remember when we almost died in Turkey 10 times?
You remember that cab ride down that alley and we said yes?
Exactly.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to follow your guys' journey, and I know we're going to do this again, and I'm excited again just to keep watching you guys keep killing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'd love to come back to the Purple Couch.
That's it. It's always welcome. Always welcome. Always open invitation. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.